Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is our science class. I welcome you all in our science class. If you remember, in the previous lecture, we have learned about the Unit 2 food chain. We have already started it, and I told you that what is the food chain and how many parts it has. Let's just revise it. The way in which living things are linked together by their food is called a food chain. You remember, I told you that everyone living on the earth needs energy and food, and it depends on another animal or plant for their food or energy. Suppose human beings eat chicken, chicken eat bugs, and bugs eat plants, and plants are the only producers. They produce their own food and they get the energy from the sun. A food chain shows how all living things depend upon each other. Let's move. Then I told you four main parts of the food chain: the sun, producers, consumers, and decomposers. I explained you that sun is the source of energy for all the living things on the earth. It is the ultimate source for energy, heat, and light for human beings, plants, and animals. Number two part of the food chain is producers. And what are producers? Plants are the producers. Why we call them producers? Because they make their own food by using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. And this process is called photosynthesis. I explained you in the previous lecture that what is the process of photosynthesis. Now, today we will learn about the consumers, the third part of the food chain. Consumers. Who are consumers? Who consumes food from animals and plants, just like these animals and human beings, they are the consumers. Just learn something more about the consumers. Okay. Consumers are all living things that cannot produce their own food. Not like the producers, consumers cannot make their own food. They cannot produce. They have to eat from the outside. They have to eat some other animals or the plants to get the energy. All animals and human beings are consumers since they cannot make their own food. Understand this? That consumers are all the animals and human beings because they cannot make their own food. So that's why we call them consumers. They consume the food and energy from other living things. Now we have the different types of consumers. How many types of consumers? There are four types of consumers. Number one, herbivores. Number two, carnivores. Number three, omnivores. And on number four, scavengers. Let's learn something about herbivores. Who are herbivores? Herbivores are those animals that eat plants only. They only eat plant. They get energy from plants and grass. They only eat plants, vegetables or fruits or grass. They do not eat any animal or any type of meat. They need a lot of energy to live. They usually spend the day, full day they spend in eating grass, leaves, plants, fruits, or vegetable. Different parts of the plants or trees, they spend their whole day by eating these plants or the different parts of the plants like vegetable, fruits, or their stem or roots. These animals, we call them who eat only plants, we call them herbivores. Herbivores. Herbivores are animals that eat plant only, just like these animals: zebra, rabbit, cow, giraffe, and elephant. Now, the second type of consumers are carnivores. Carnivores eat meat only to get energy to survive. They get their food by hunting other animals. Carnivores are the types of animals that get energy by eating different animals. They do not eat plants or grass or any type of vegetables or fruit. They only eat meat, means the different animals. They hunt them and eat them. Look, just like this. Lion catch this animal and then they together will eat. All these animals are the examples of carnivorous animals. Now the third type is omnivore. Who are omnivorous animals? Just see. You can also see from the pictures and understand. Omnivores are animals that eat and survive on both plant and animals. Omnivorous animals can eat plants, and if they do not find plants, they can also eat meat, different type of animals. These animals are omnivores, and also human being, we are, comes under this type of consumers, because we eat plant as well as we eat different type of meat like beef, mutton, chicken, fish, and also we eat vegetables, fruits, and plants. So human beings are the omnivores, and also these other animals, they comes under the category of omnivorous animals. Who are omnivores? That eat both plant and animals. The fourth type is scavengers. Who are scavengers? This is the fourth type. Scavengers are the animals that eat dead bodies of animals. For example, birds like crows and vultures are scavengers. Crows, vulture, and there are many types of scavengers that eat the dead bodies of plants or the different plants. They feed on animal remains left behind by the carnivore animals. Means, as you know, the carnivorous animals hunt the prey, and then when they finish eating, they left the remain of these animals after eating on the ground, and they leave that place. After that, different type of scavengers like vultures or crow, they come to this and eat these remaining part. It means they are already dead. Carnivores do not eat the dead bodies. They hunt the animal and then they get their food or energy. But the scavengers, they eat the dead bodies which have already been hunted by the different animals. So eat that remain bodies of the animals. So they feed on, scavengers feed on dead bodies. Just have a look again. Omnivores are the animals that eat plant and meat as well. Carnivores are the animals that get their energy and their food by eating meat only. Herbivores are the animals that eat plants only. Herbivores eat plants only. Carnivores eat meat only. Omnivores eat both plant and meat. And scavengers eat the dead bodies of different type of animals or the plants. Understand? These four types of animals come under the category of consumers. They all are consumers. How many parts of food chain? We have four parts: sun, producers, consumers, and then now the fourth part of the food chain is decomposers. They are very important in the food chain. Who are decomposers? You can see from this picture. Let's learn it. Decomposers are living things. For example, ants, flies, fungi, and bacteria, and many more. I'm giving you few examples here. Fungi and bacteria are very tiny. which can only be seen with a special microscope, a special device for seeing the fungi and bacteria. We use microscope. We cannot see them with naked eyes. Another, we can see ant and flies. What work they do? They break up the dead bodies. When the animals leave the dead bodies on the ground, these decomposers, means ant, flies, fungi, bacteria, and many more, they break up the dead bodies of animals and plants into small parts. Then what happened? They recycle the nutrients to be used again by the producer. When they break up these dead bodies, then what happened? The remaining part goes into the ground again. Rain comes, the soil become wet, and this part which they decompose, they break these left part of the animals, dead bodies and plants, they break them into small pieces, and in the wet soil, these parts go into the ground, and these change into nutrients and used by the producers, means plants and trees. And producers use them again for making their own food. Understand this? How many parts of food chain we have? First we have sun, then we have producers, then we have consumers, then we have decomposers. And in consumers, we have 4 types of animals: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and scavengers. The food chain is very easy to understand. Just to concentrate on the topics, see this again and again, this lecture, and then you can easily understand. Now this is the page for your exercise, page number 14 of science book. These are the fill in the blanks, or we have to complete the sentences. In your exercise, what they are asking: A, decomposers feed on, remember, decomposers feed on what? Dead bodies. Dead bodies of animals and plants you can write, or only write on dead bodies. Number B, only producers can make, what producers can make? Their own food. Producers means plants and trees. They can make their own food. Number C, consumers. Just recall the information about the consumer which I gave you. Who are consumers? Consumers are those living things that cannot make their own food. They depend on other animals and plants for getting their food and energy. So consumers are those living things that cannot make their own food. Number D, a food chain shows. What food chain shows? That all living things depend upon each other. All living things depend upon each other for what? For fulfilling their food needs and for getting energy. Complete these sentences in your books. Question number 2, read the food chain below. I will tell you later on the next picture. Just see this. This is your assignment. Now number 4, which is the correct food chain? They have given you 3 food chains. Just read grass, deer, lion. It means grass is eaten by deer and deer is eaten by lion. Is this a correct? Then number B, lion, grass, deer. Just see this. Is it possible that grass eat lion? No, grass cannot eat. Grass is a plant. Lion is a wild animal and deer is here. So it means it is wrong. Number C, deer, lion, grass. Again, this step is correct, that lion eats deer. But is it possible grass eat lion? So it means it's also wrong. The correct one is this one. Lion eat deer and deer eat grass. Number 5, which animal might complete this food chain? This was is missing. I wrote it for you. Lettuce means this is the plant. This is producer. This was blank. Bird, and then fox. Fox eats bird, and bird eats what? Here I filled caterpillar. Caterpillar is eaten by different type of birds. And what caterpillar eat to get energy? Caterpillar eats lettuce, a leafy part. Lettuce is the leaves of the plant. Now, this question number 2, move forward. Here is the question number 4. Question number 2, read the food chain below. Cabbage, caterpillar, sparrow, eagle. The 4 members of food chain. First is cabbage, means vegetable. Caterpillar, insect. Sparrow, bird. Eagle, also a type of bird. And what they are asking, which of the above is a producer and which are consumer? Just hurry up, recall all the information you have in your mind. Who is the producer? Producers are only plants. So which one is there anything from the plant? Eagle is the plant? No. Sparrow? No. Animal, bird. Caterpillar? No. Cabbage. Cabbage is vegetable, so it's from the plant. So it means cabbage is the producer. Then caterpillar eats cabbage. Caterpillar cannot make its own food. Sparrow cannot make its own food. Eagle cannot make its own food. So it means, look, here is the answer. In the above food chain, cabbage is the producer. This is the part of the plant. So this is the producer. Cabbage is the producer, and caterpillar, sparrow, eagle are the consumers. These 3 parts of this food chain are the consumers. You have to write this question in your notebook. Okay? This in the book. Complete the sentences in the book. These one. Select the correct food chain. This in the book. Which animal might complete this in the book? The question number 2. Question number 2 in your notebooks, and question number 3, I think it's your assignment. This question number 3, and it is for your assignment. Draw a picture of a herbivore, carnivore, and an omnivore animals in your notebook. You have to draw these animals. You can see from your science book, you can find it, or you can also draw any other animal which is an example of herbivore, one carnivore, and omnivore. Then write a sentence about what they eat. After seeing all this lecture, you can easily find that who are herbivores, who are carnivores, and who are omnivores, and what things they eat. Okay, children? That's it for today. See you, inshallah, next lecture. Thank you.